All right. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, today is episode 6.
We made it to 6 somehow.
I'm not sure how, but here we
It
go.
should be 8. We will talk about the lost episodes again.
2A,
Lost
yeah,
episodes.
2A,
8 is my
3B.
favorite number. 8 is my favorite number, so we'll keep it that way.
6.
You go-
The
yeah.
lost episodes.
Yeah.
Of the Pinche Podcast.
Hey, Johnny, now that you're on, tell us something good.
Well, I'm back in good health. Missed a whole week of training, and
Damn.
back. I'm ready to get
Wow.
back in it. Feeling 100%.
Yeah, we
ready
didn't
to
have as
dive in.
much sand on the mats because Johnny was down.
Sandbagger.
Usually it's like
Sandbagger.
a beach after
I used to
he's
bring-
rolling.
I bring 2 big sandbags every time I go into training, and
Holy
I
shnikes.
sprinkle it around,
Yeah.
distribute it.
Sand in my eyes, sand in my D's, sand in my tidy whities.
I was going to say something, but I don't think I can.
Just sandbag him. Go ahead.
Hey, tell me about that do-rag. What's going on?
Ooh, here we
Representing. Yo, West Coast is the best coast.
Damn, that's kind of gangster.
It is
just put a
gangster.
coaster on
I'm
it.
so gangster. When I order Starbucks, I don't drink with a straw.
Damn. You're crazy. You know
So
that?
you want a straw? And I'm like, I don't want no fucking straw. Still mad at Starbucks after
Are you-
last episode.
Why are you angry?
Yeah.
Because they're nitro.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
Because there's
You-
limits.
I could only order one nitro because of the caffeine allowance that they allow you to have.
No,
And people like you
No.
get to you.
that's the
Fight for
loophole.
our freedom. I'm getting mad.
You can order as many as you want, but you can't order bigger than a grande.
Yeah, that's horrible.
And Joe's loophole was order 2.
Two.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, let's try to stay calm. Okay, stay calm. Nobody go crazy. All right,
Relax, guy.
relax.
Mm.
But let's take a moment and introduce our badass guest, Jaime.
Oh, that was me. I was like, which one?
Yeah.
That's another guess.
From Heroes Night Out. He's a
Thank you,
jiu-jitsu
appreciate it.
practitioner. He's a badass army dog, and he's very humble, as you can see. So, on that note, why don't you tell us a little tiny bit about yourself? Start with your jiu-jitsu game. Tell us about your jiu-jitsu.
Well, I'm in the hardest level to get. It's the white belt.
Yeah.
just signing up.
Nice.
As everyone says. Been doing it now on and off for a couple of years. Living the dream, loving every moment of the journey, and just a little bit of a molecule in the positive way of Earth.
He's a molecule in
You want to dive
a
straight into
positive
that? Yeah.
molecule.
Hey, might as well go ahead and circle back into that.
I want to hear a little bit about that. Tell us
Yeah,
about that.
That's unique.
Yeah.
Just the way life is. I mean, they say everything's interconnected. Whenever you put something into fruition, it comes to it. So I'm all part of this journey and being able to connect to everybody. And one way or another, we're all connected.
I
And
like
if you
that.
keep
I
it
like
up, we'll
that.
connect, baby.
Yeah.
Don't start
Oh,
up
don't.
everything at the
Yeah.
time.
Already?
I know I'm military, but there's no rank I get from you, I think. So
Oh, I can give you a rank.
Oh, yeah,
I'll
appreciate it.
I'll give you some special stripes.
That's
There's no sandbags, please.
So what's your favorite part about jiu-jitsu? Let's stay on jiu-jitsu for a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's what actually that's a common thread here. That's what brings us all together is the whole jiu-jitsu game. So just share what's your favorite part and what's the least favorite part.
Yeah.
Whenever you have the emotional intelligence to roll with somebody and you can actually feel them subconsciously, you're able to feel them relax, you're able to feel them actually learn and feel that kind of connection without talking. And you start like when Bruno was talking, he's like, if you're trying to attack the arms, hit the neck, you hit the neck, hit the body. So
Yeah,
right.
being able to feel that with them and understand that part and not have any communication, just have that mentality behind it.
That's
Yeah.
nice. That's,
Uh,
really
That's
the worst-
actually really deep.
The worst part is whenever no one tells them to clip their nails or take a shower. It's like, hey, I appreciate the love and the sweatness.
yeah, a
and
little
everything
scratched
else.
up. Yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate the opportunity on that one, but yeah, keep the sweat out of my mouth.
We don't have anybody with those at our academy. We used to have like 2 of them at our old academy, but we don't have anybody here.
Yeah, I
Which
haven't.
one?
Yeah.
Well,
like the
Bruno?
nastiness.
Either
yeah,
one.
Bruno.
I've
think
met
either one.
one, and he's a little bit heavier set, And sometimes when he sweats, it's just like right in my mouth, and it's like
yeah, the sweating, yeah, but
Sweating
we're
not-
talking about the nails.
Oh, the nails,
or
okay.
like the smell.
Oh,
or like,
yeah, the
yeah.
smell.
Too many
Even if you
smelly
can,
people,
like 2 hours before, take a Pepto-Bismol. That when I flip you, you're not gonna fart on me.
we do have an
If
issue
I'm
with farting. There are a
If
couple
I
of
roll
farters.
into you and you're just
Yeah.
like a burrito,
Yeah.
it's like taking the air out of your body. It's like, hey, can you take one Pepto-Bismol just to make sure I don't need
Yeah.
to have any flatulence in my face
Yeah.
right now?
Well, we've had
It's a
a
bit-
couple discussions in past episodes, like, is it strategic or not? And so,
Strategic BJJ farting.
well, it depends. Again, like if I know I'm rolling with you, I'm probably going to have Taco Bell
Beforehand, right?
beforehand and give you some of that special sauce, you know.
Delicious.
But yeah, at our
That mystery
gym,
meat.
we are a clean gym. Mats are clean, people are clean.
Yeah.
Don't get any stinky people. The sweat is a big one, but I like to say it's just sweat because it's all that hard work. But as a germaphobe, that sweat in the mouth, that's a whole
Yeah,
other level.
yeah. I like getting the sweat in the eyeball, and then I like
Mm.
see their whole history. Like I see their past,
Yeah.
like they're all the previous generations of
No, I
like
can
everybody who
taste
came
how much
before
of a
them. Like,
shitbag you've been on your vitamin intake. That extra protein? No, that's gainful right there.
That's whey.
That's
That's
whey.
that whey.
That's whey protein. Thank
Hey man, have you
Appreciate
thought about taking some vitamin supplements? Because I
Are you
tested
top?
some of your
Taste extra
DNA.
sugar donut. I think
Yeah.
I can
What
stick
is
it
that?
together.
pink frosting, sprinkles.
And then you're sitting there looking at his wife. You're like, I see
Yeah.
what you're tasting now.
Well, based on that sample, I'm,
I feel
I'm
bad for you. You're tasting this shit bag.
We have something in common now, right?
Yeah.
I understand you.
I've never. This is like that's
Oh
that's the
my
most awkward
gosh.
part is actually rolling with the dude, and you see his wife looking at you, and you're rolling with him. You're like, what are you thinking about? While you're rolling with this dude, and you're sitting here like either she's like smiling,
Yeah.
or she's like concerned,
Yeah.
or she's smiling like, what's on your mind?
Yeah.
Yep.
And you're like, hey, have you told her about what we do?
yeah.
I don't want her to get jealous. Like,
Yeah.
I'm calling me at 9 o'clock at night.
We're having a moment here,
Yeah.
right? And then getting the evil eyes from the
Take my
bleachers.
breath away on another
Yeah.
level.
Oh my gosh.
You know,
I love it. I love it.
I love it.
I know he kisses your feet, but I'm sucking his toes, and I'm not really enjoying this.
Damn.
Heel hooks,
I'm
right?
the type of person.
toe, toe hole.
I think I am the molecule to his molecule.
I mean, have you ever seen a
Guys
wife
creating
and you're sitting there
compounds.
and you're sitting there looking at her and you're like pulling your hair out of his mouth like this, and like, you're having that moment with her, like
It's so
we
intimate.
are doing this together,
Yeah.
but I have no interest in him. But this is my life because you brought him here.
I think you should write some type of romance
Yeah.
novels where you just capture all these thoughts.
Sweet rolls.
So, yeah,
Sweet rolls.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
How do you see whisper? Sweet
Like
rolls.
Dark, intimate sessions with Jaime.
Greek sweet roll.
Reflections.
Well, they taught us that if you're not actually submitting, it's Kama Sutra.
Mm.
So,
Oh, here we go again.
Yeah.
So
Every
lovely
podcast.
stretching.
Yeah.
Stretching the soul. I mean,
And so he gently, as he mounted me
Stretching the roll.
in a full mount, and I tried to frame.
Brokeback Mounts. Mats.
Yeah.
Brokeback
Brokeback mats.
Brokeback
Oh my
mounts.
God.
Brokeback full mounts.
Mats. There you go.
I wish you could quit me. I wish I could quit you.
Tap now.
Just dreams.
It's his first time.
Just lean into it. It's okay.
It's your first time, huh?
It's the first time.
So it's like a first time with you.
Hey, don't whisper. Don't whisper. Hey, so we need to do some housekeeping.
Okay.
We need to address some things. So I got a complaint about the Boba. So apparently we've ruined some lives because they can never see Boba the same way.
The goat boba.
The goat
Well,
Boba.
Do you want to take on
No.
this?
So-
I'm going to take this. So for those of you,
Step over for this
okay.
one.
So
Where's the camera?
hold on, really quick. Last week or last episode,
want to bring it
Can I
up
show
again?
'em?
we had yeah, pull it up. So there was we're talking about goat.
Downloaded a picture.
We're talking about goat yoga, right?
Okay.
So then I guess you do yoga, but then a goat like can come on top of you, and then what if they poop? That was what I said, and then we're like, yeah, and then they pulled up the a goat's ass, and
No, it was a goat performing a bodily function that is
yes,
natural.
Yes, true.
But
true,
some
true.
people out there
yeah, Yeah.
are offended by
But so-
that.
But then
do you want me to
everyone's
rotate it
offended by
around?
something, so
So
you wanna
I
pull it
can
up?
bring it up.
somebody said,
again.
yeah.
So Jaime, you
Let's
can
go.
see. We
yeah,
were,
no,
yeah,
I've lived with goats, on a farm before. I
that
understand.
explains a lot.
Yeah, it's not a bad day.
Bah.
That too elementary, but
So take it away.
Perfect.
Give us your thoughts on that.
Well, what we're looking at here is two things that we can appreciate. Nature, like I was talking about,
yeah, good fertilizer.
and it's a natural thing. All living creatures have to excrete waste.
Yes.
True.
What's lovely about the goat is that it's a clean
Waste,
excretion.
yeah.
Okay, like pellets, which is similar to another thing that we should appreciate is boba.
Mhm.
And someone out there,
Facts.
brighter than any of us,
Some genius.
was able to correlate goat excrement
I think they're
with
full of
the
boba.
boba.
They're full of boba.
I think they're.
Yeah,
I
go
like
with
that.
boba.
Another shirt idea.
Yeah.
You're full of boba.
You're full of boba.
You're full of boba, dude.
Goat boba.
with a goat just laughing.
No, you're full of boba.
Little goat
Oh,
looking like over behind, just
Oh.
wink, wink.
maybe some
an
boba.
idea.
Maybe put a little thing called Boba Fett.
boba.
This is the way.
This is the way.
Boba. Fett. I'm making notes. T-shirt.
You do like the goat poop.
You do like boba.
You
Don't
do.
don't Boba fret. Don't Boba fret.
Don't Boba Fett. Okay. This is Bobalicious.
Oh man, this is
Bubble.
yeah.
I'm taking notes.
Taking notes.
So
Take
for the
notes.
people who are offended, the point of it was not to offend, it was to educate. So if you look at it through that lens, then I think you should be able to appreciate your boba.
I concur. That's my favorite word. by the
I
way.
mean, this is kind of a ranch
it anyway.
town a little bit, right? Like, well, there's a lot of farms and stuff out here.
Yeah.
Probably a lot of goats and stuff, right?
If you ever see a male goat in front of or behind a female goat, and that female goat is releasing her Boba Fett,
Hmm.
that male goat loves every moment of it. They are high on earth. You have ever seen
There are
that?
people that pay for that.
That is full on.
They're high on Boba.
There are
Yeah,
people out
that's
there
an
that
OnlyFans website somewhere
Oh
with
my
that thing
gosh.
on there. I bet with that goat just sitting there, just
Well, maybe when we get reincarnated, we could be goats on the farm.
I can only dream.
hopefully it's not a slaughter farm. Yeah, about 2 years, you're done.
End up in
You're
a
done.
end up in a taco.
Find a way to be emotional support. Media.
Taco Tuesday.
Yeah,
I
bro.
love Taco
Oh.
Tuesday.
Incarnated and end up in a slaughterhouse or one of your yellow tortilla
Yellow
tacos.
corn-
I don't want none of that birria.
It's all by
I don't
yellow
want none of that
tortilla.
birria.
Oh,
Joe's
it
in it.
would be so spicy. and
You
So
want some videos?
juicy.
Boba tea?
Boba. Oh, that is.
Boba tea? Just
I don't want none of that. I don't want none of those tacos.
Hey, how about that taco place we went to?
that was amazing.
Hey, what color were the tortillas?
I wasn't even paying attention because it was covered in
Oh.
cheese.
Well, let
It
me
was
just
covered
tell
in
you,
everything.
they're yellow.
Yeah.
He brings it up.
What a
in
shocker.
every
What a
podcast.
surprise.
No cauliflower tortilla.
Yeah, Los Mamis. Is that the name of it?
Don't look at me. You brought me
Los
there.
Mamis. I think that's what it's
Sounds
called. Los
great.
Mamis. Pull it up.
You better be careful what
Joe
you
Birch.
pull up with
Yeah.
that name.
Is your safe search on?
I'm
Make
just
sure when
saying.
you
You
click
thought
on
we
the
had
bits
goat
that-
poop?
Tacos Las Mamis. Right
Okay.
there.
Las Mamis. Okay.
Taco Las Mamis.
Good, you put
So
it
you
in
want to go to the
tacos.
Facebook page or the Yelp page? Let's see.
Whatever.
Maybe they got a website.
Las Mamis.
Yeah, they're not gonna have a
I got the
website.
media tacos and they were grilled.
Oh.
Oh.
Look at that. Look at that. Look at that.
Okay.
Is this
Where's
the
this
lady?
located?
This is the lady.
Yeah,
One of
yeah, that's one of them. So it's right there off of Whitestone. Look at that. My God.
That was a
Oh, so right
quesadilla
there.
and a taco.
That
Yeah, right there at the bottom.
Very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're not
One.
sponsoring anything. It's just
No.
so good.
Shout
we
out,
just
shout out.
Yeah, big
Yeah,
shout out
Shout out
to
to Taco Las Mamis.
Tacos Las Mamis, the birria, the consomé
Although
is good.
the only thing that I can say is that the gas station doesn't allow them to have horchata there.
Yeah, you can't have drinks because
You gotta buy it from gas station.
you got to buy it from the gas station.
But they don't.
Even horchata?
They don't have horchata.
The
so
gas
you-
station doesn't have
It does not. So that's like one of those little loopholes. Like, hey, just let them sell it. But
Yeah.
no,
Yeah, they're looking
they just don't
for
shut the
A
fuck up.
location.
they're looking for a location. They're open to that. But anyways, happy Taco Tuesday, and
Glad we
with
talk about it.
Shout out.
with
Shout
good
out.
tacos, there's good beer, right?
Good responsibility.
So shall we?
Yeah.
Shall we? It's about
Always.
that time. We're going with
It's always that time.
oh my God, I'm going crazy. It's the same brewery.
Humble Pint.
Humble
Pint.
Pint. Humble Pint. I had to look.
Should pull it up.
I had to look.
Again,
let's
the
do
Humble
it.
Pint, just
Humble
to fill you in,
Boom.
Jaime has been offering us some very delicious.
So they
Beers.
have.
Why-
remember
but
yard.
why is this
Is it yard
the
sign?
symbol for beer? Is this,
Yard
is this
sign.
I thought it was.
Which one
grape
is this
nuts
one?
or Italian.
That one we're going with the
Italian,
red
I get
again.
this,
The
but
red,
you're just
okay.
doing this.
I tasted all of them.
Salt based
Red
thing at the
Aaron,
top, and I was like, what?
Irish Red. I mean, I've tasted a few. Like I went through all of them, and man, let me tell you, this one is really good.
This is another red.
Yeah, this is another red. Here, let me. Yeah, you got that. You got that. It's gonna need a little more nitrous.
Mm,
Here we go. Here we go. Oh, I gotta put the camera so we can all see. There we go. Look at that.
It's Irish Red. Any kind of thing for St. Patrick's Day, or just
No, they've always had it.
okay?
They've always had it. Let's see. Ooh, look at that. Look at that.
this is a 5%. So can I read the descriptor? Because I think we had a lot of people complain about that too, just like the same people that complain about the goat poop.
Is there any Boba for that?
This is a 5%. This is the 5%. There you go.
Oh, wow,
Look
there
at
it is.
that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Now it's too much.
We'll open up it with an apology
Dude, that's
That would
insane.
that needs to settle.
to any
Someone's gonna have some
public
burps all
speakers.
day.
Quick. Next one. Yeah, see? Yeah, that's gonna be the good one. Look
Yeah,
at that.
that's
Look
the
at
good
that.
one.
This is
Perfect.
deep ruby
That's
ale.
money. Oh no,
But
too
needs to
much,
settle.
too
No,
much,
no,
too much.
Yeah, let it settle.
Too much.
There are loops of barrels of roasted caramel flavor with a mild
That's all
tailwind of toasted bread or biscuit flavor. It's flavored with roasted barley, biscuit, and Munich
Oh,
malts.
let me put that on.
And it's
there we go.
hopped to a mildly assertive bitterness using UK Bogle
I'm good.
and
for now.
US Golding. Gotcha.
All right.
Salute.
Well, salute to episode
Welcome.
number
Welcome.
6.
So we're closer to this double digits.
Welcome.
Thank you, Jaime,
Double
for
digits,
being
double
here.
digits.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. All this molecules together.
All the molecules together. God, see,
I am
see,
becoming a
so
red
tasteful.
fan.
So tasty, so
It's like little
Drip.
fairies dancing
Yeah.
in my mouth, and I'll leave it at that.
and you
Wow.
got good
That's-
head there.
Like I said, it's
Don't
like little
encourage 'em.
fairies dancing.
No,
encourage
the
it.
head, the head. That's what it's called, right? The head.
Was that the nice head?
Yeah, that's a nice head. That's an.
Don't get ahead of yourself.
See, I don't have a nice head. I got no head on my
No,
beard.
you have no hair. That's
Oh,
Uh,
hey, I'd like to put on
hey, hair's overrated. We know that, right?
hair is
Oh, no.
super overrated.
Super.
Let me get my
Super.
carpet out.
If you have a carpet, I'll be your Aladdin.
Oh yeah, whole new world.
yeah.
A whole new world.
I am part Middle Eastern, so that works very well for me. Got the Arabian Nights over here.
Oh, that was a good one.
That fine Night Jafar. All right, Jeannie, where we going next?
Yeah.
Let's go to Heroes Night Out.
Yeah.
Tell us
Yeah.
about Heroes
Yeah.
Night Out, because that. Now we're gonna take a different approach to
Okay.
this. We're gonna be serious about it. Well, sort of. All right.
Okay.
Tell us about Heroes Night Out.
Yeah, I'm not
Pull it-
familiar,
pull it up
so
really
if
quick.
you could just fill me in the viewership and the audience.
Yeah, so Heroes Night Out basically is just a organization that is a hub in the community, veteran service organizations that gets veterans whatever resources they need.
And so some of my friends who have served and been out, and my biological dad, when he was done, they kind of felt like they were kind of lost a little bit.
Understand? Yeah,
Mhm.
no, 100%.
Because the bonds, from what I understand, when my bio dad and my stepdad were dealing with that and what they have to do. I mean, in jujitsu, I feel like I'm very bonded because, like we were talking earlier, and get around you're practicing, you're at this intimate level where you're sweating on each other and hair and wives looking at us. But I can only imagine when you're overseas, and it's not even like a brother situation. It's just like I can imagine with these guys. These guys are my map brothers, but a different level. And then when you're not in that anymore, just where do I find my landing spot?
The sense of
Yeah,
belonging.
imagine a
goes
car
away.
without a GPS. You have all this purpose, but you have nowhere to go.
And you guys have been trained and you've had a high purpose and you still do. But then what happens, I can only imagine, then you're done. But then what
Yeah.
happens?
It's refocusing some of that. You get lost in translation sometimes. Sometimes you don't. The military gives you 1,000 a bit ways you're now have the ability to do everything, and somewhere along the lines you lose that kind of focus and you realize that you have so much opportunity, and you start getting to your own thought and believe more in your inability than your ability. And so with Heroes Night Out and some of those organizations that are there, they refocus and kind of say, hey, you still have the ability, even though all those events are great. It's about just being able to give you that purpose again, giving you that sense of opportunity in the community. And from there, even bringing in non-veterans and saying, hey, we're all here together, because if I can refocus this person, that person, everyone wins. And we're on the Heroes Night Out is on a property with a church. And from there, they pass resources back and forth and whatnot. And the ultimate goal is just to give back to the community.
Yeah, it's one of those things that came up in our past podcast where we talk about purpose.
Mhm.
And then another thing that I like to bring up is just the way I judge people, just let you know, it's just, do you make people's lives better? We kind of know if you're here or not, or do you hold people back? But what's interesting with someone like you is you've already served, which is a lot more that some people could say. But then even after that, you found this thing with purpose where you're also helping other people, and there's this need. So for me, I tend to goof around a little bit and stuff, but when it's something like this where people are doing things for people that have done something great for us, it's just like I get it's a little heavy, because it's just like, I think sometimes, and I've seen it when people have talked to my dad about Vietnam, or when my dad was in Gulf War, there's different perceptions. And I remember when I was little, and my dad was gone on 3 tours, and, there's just things said. And I just said, they're saying these things about you, but you were gone all that time. And I was the oldest brother, and I got to step up, help mom, 3 younger brothers, and dad's gone. And it's a different time where you can like FaceTime or anything.
Yeah, right.
And I'm just like, they're saying these
Different
things. How
times.
can you not be angry?
Writing
And he looked
letters.
at me and he says,
Yeah.
yeah,
Letters.
writing letters.
Telegrams. Right?
Yeah.
What you guys
Yeah,
do back
that
then?
Emergency,
was my first
American
old man
restaurants.
comment.
Well, I mean, it was a telegram. So it was
Pigeon,
a pigeon.
pigeons.
Yeah, pigeon.
Messenger,
It's pigeon.
pigeons.
Morse code.
He's like 62. He gets the
You might have to use your white belt level, hold me back, because I'm about to break some wrists in here.
I will love it. You know what? I'm gonna watch this the whole way and watch you get sandbag it.
But I remember my stepdad said, I served so that people like them have the right to say things like that.
Yeah.
And that's how important it was for him to serve, as he understood that they have and he said, Joseph, they have the right to be idiots too. They have the freedom because of what I've done. I'm like, wow, that's a special type of guy.
Whenever you do those things, even with faith, it's kind of one of those things that you forgive them for they do not know. It's like, hey, regardless of why we're all here, we're chewing dirt and we're here together. And it doesn't matter, whose foxhole, whose life is worse. It's about how we're doing it to make it the best. Because every week go in 1,000 years about who's had it worst. But it's a matter about who's doing the best and being able to bring everyone together.
Wow.
Molecules.
molecules.
You're hitting us with the hashtag.
I still,
deep, dude. Everything.
Even now, I still make sure I'm as healthy as possible, because I still give blood at least 6 pints a year. Each pint of blood saves 2 lives. So even if you aren't able to serve, you are able to save lives. And maybe someone who did serve, maybe never actually saved or been in that capacity. Now you're donating blood and giving direct opportunities to people that maybe need it. So there's always different ways, but that's what we try and teach everyone, that you're all just molecules together, bring everyone to one love.
And it's not just molecules. It's also
love that.
One love.
Just
dude.
probably guessing where you're thinking on this too. It's this interconnective web of molecules too. And either you could sit there and hold people back again, or just kind of sit there static, or you could send this vibration to the other molecules, ripples out just to help other people in their journey. So it's very cool.
We're all magnetic in a sense, and you attract. That's true in every sense.
Oh, I know that. Look at me.
I know. I feel bad for everyone around here. It's like, shit.
You give the opposite magnetic.
You know how long it took
You're
to
repelling
this
people.
molecule?
Well, I don't know. We have good hair, so that's attraction.
There you go.
So,
Oh, I got a lot of good stuff that I can't talk about on the podcast. We got to get to number 10.
Got to take our time. That's second.
Now we're
date,
taking the
second
time.
date.
Warm
Now
up.
we're taking the
We're
time.
warming
Slow
up.
down.
Okay.
We're warming
Like
up.
jujitsu.
Now we're slowing down.
Controlled chaos, baby.
Control.
We're gonna go
So that
80%
is-
on this and it's out.
It's
Hey,
100.
Now
yeah.
it's time to slow it down.
Hey guys, you know what, guys? What's
Now
going to
we're
go
gonna slow it
20%?
down.
Wrist lock. It's like, hey,
20% times 5.
like, listen, I appreciate the love, but you said 20%. Okay, I'm not your wife. Slow it down, big boy.
Gold medals in the gym.
Looking
Flow
like a
roll.
freshman at
Flow
prom.
roll.
Ready to hit it.
Oh, dude.
roll.
Freshman
Yeah.
at prom.
Hashtag flow roll. Who's flow rolling in here?
Shrimp.
Hey, so real quickly with
Yeah.
the Heroes Night Out, have other places in the state or locations actually expressed interest in maybe starting their own Heroes Night Out? Has it gotten to that point yet?
So there is other, I would say, people or groups and organizations that are similar to Heroes Night Out in other cities.
Okay.
So in Houston, it's called Combined Arms, and they have their own facility there with a gym and all these different things, and they have the same purpose, but it's a different city. There's different opportunities there. I know right now we really do need it in South Texas because of the border. We have guys
Right.
there that are still
Yeah.
serving, and there's not really a hub for them to go to the safe space with those opportunities, other than maybe their armory where they drill out of. So it's a good opportunity that we need to have more of those in places where the guys are at more active.
What pulled you into Heroes Night Out? Because you said you were involved in other organizations, but how was it introduced to you?
It was introduced to me as a hub that says, hey, you have the energy to be here. This is a good opportunity for you just to spread the love. And I love service. And when I saw what their purpose was, I met the staff and everyone's good and awesome. I was like, you know what? You got me. What do I need to do? How do I need to, what, how can I step in? How can I be the tip of the spear and help you guys, serve?
Wow. How'd you find HNO again?
I Blue Bonnet Trails. They mentioned it there. They have those opportunities there, and showed up with some of their opportunities and haven't left. Love it.
It's awesome.
And I remember where I found out about, or where I learned about Heroes Night Out. It was at the Vet Fest.
That clinch.
The vet, what's it called? The Vet
Fest.
Vet Fest. Yes.
OP
yes.
Vet.
Yes. OP Vet Fest. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's where I learned about it.
OP Veteran is an organization that basically they watch over veterans, and that's a
Oh, that's
mantra. They're basically, one of their logos like a watchtower. So they have a big event usually in October, November of each year, and they have like 200-300 veterans organizations, and they're really geared towards it typically. And from there, they bring all the resources together.
Mhm.
They don't have a center, but they're more of an online presence. They do have events here and there to help raise awareness.
That's awesome.
And then for the people that are listening
Yeah.
in the viewership, if they wanted to support Heroes Night Out, how would they go about doing that? What are some things that they could do to help the cause?
I mean, it's one of those things where what is your passion and what is your strength? And from there, bring that in and say, hey, I can do this, I can do that, and we can get involved.
So it shows that it has some monetary donations, which are
Yeah.
always great.
Yeah, it's always awesome.
Is it 100% of the proceeds goes towards it?
I would say so. I
Excellent.
haven't really. I mean, everything I see them do is always for them, and
Mhm.
they have never wavered from that mantra.
Awesome.
Yeah. There's also a get involved link
Mhm.
here too.
So you could volunteer,
Yeah.
could donate. Amazon.
And what I always tell people is that the biggest way you want to do is be able to just give awareness, because we love the funds, but we also want to get the veterans, because if we can't find them that are just hiding, or
Mhm.
they're still trying to escape from everything they've gone through, or they're still not engaged, that's who we need to work on. Because you give me $20 is awesome, but being able to give me that veteran who needs that guidance, and I can save them, or I can work with them, or I can talk to them, or whatever that vocabulary is, that's another day, because they can bring so much to
Mhm.
community. Once you bring off all those layers, or making
Mhm.
them stand away, they can serve 10 times more in a way capacity.
And let me just say that we're really good as veterans, especially Mexican, getting raised in a Mexican household, traditional Mexican household. We're very good at protecting ourselves and at, bearing all of those feelings.
Yeah,
And-
that's a Gen X thing
we-
too in my generation,
right,
where we don't show any emotion and we don't ask for help, but go ahead.
right.
Baby boomers too. Yeah.
Baby boomers,
Yeah.
thank you. That's number 3, Jaime.
So So imagine, we're out and we know we need help, but we're not going to ask for it because,
It's that self-reliance thing,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
I would want to
self-reliance, you suck
challenge
it up.
that and say that we as a community have been able to have such high emotional intelligence over the years because we didn't have Google. We didn't have those things. So we had to have that ability to have emotional intelligence to keep working through things. And so now we have Google. Now people are losing emotional intelligence and rely more on IQ of how to look at a phone. So now that we're
That's
trying
a
to
very good
transition
point.
and say, you know what, I have that ability, but now I need to learn how to translate that because some people don't have that ability anymore. And now it's not coming across as being a strong person. It's coming off as not asking for help.
Well, it's that
Yeah.
stigma
Yeah.
too. And the guys here know that I've had my own challenges with mental health. And one of the hardest things for me was acknowledging that I needed help. And then the big step, just for people who are listening, is also asking for it.
Yeah.
And so for people out there, in my life changed because of the help and support and the people that truly care about me, like the friends here and family members, they understand. So you don't have to do it on your own. It's on the outside, things can look okay. But then on the inside, when it's just you, and you have that quiet time and you don't have to do it on your own. And this sounds like a great opportunity if you have a family member or friend that you want to connect this to, or if you're listening. And just looking into it, because then when you find a connection and people that understand, that's the huge thing for me too. When I'm sure the connection with you guys, because you serve, like, I'm not going to relate in the same way as people, like you said, ate the dirt or ate the sand. I know that.
Chew the dirt.
Chew the dirt.
Yeah.
He eats the sand. I eat the sand,
sand.
actually. And they can speak to you and you don't have to do it on your
They'll
own.
speak.
There's no journey you should have to do on your own. Whether it's jujitsu, whether it's being a vet, whether it's doing music, you don't have to do it.
The hardest part of every journey is yourself.
Yes.
And if you can get over that, that's why I said about jujitsu, because once you get to those barriers and you can look at those things and you start seeing that person like relax their shoulders, you're like, all right, now it's time to work.
Now it's on.
Now I can build you, and because you've already been broken.
Yeah.
That's like military. Once you break them, all right, now we start building.
Yeah, you want people to have a life full of joy and purpose. That's one thing that you mentioned. And it's hard to do that until you get the support. And then you're able to kind of get through those challenges with people that care and will support you. And then you can start implementing those levels of joy and purpose.
Well, also trying to define your why, because if you are not there with a good why, you will get broken because you're just getting so exhausted.
Well, you have no.
And then also learning self-care versus self-soothe.
Yeah.
I'm doing this because I'm actually taking care of myself. I'm doing this now because I'm actually just trying to hold on.
Yeah.
You know? It's like how trying to find those balances.
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Because we tend to self-soothe.
Yeah.
Especially in today's world.
Yeah.
And the hard part is once you go through those journeys and figure out your 7 facets of health, now you can't turn back. And you're like, you know what? I have an obligation to myself to be better because now I understand those definitions. Yeah. And if you do go back on it, you're just basically, hypocrite.
So would you say that's kind of your why of like jiu-jitsu? Is that kind of why you got into it, or
self-improvement?
Yeah.
I'm 15 years anxiety, depression free. I'm 4 years migraine free, 3 years trigger free, and just everything I can do to break everything and be able to be that next step for my kids to say, hey, without a lot of different things, I was able to work through it and get through it. And it's not no magical sauce. It's not anything else. It's just being able to be cognizant and eat and have that emotional intelligence.
Are you crediting some of those improvements to jiu-jitsu then? Is that kind of what I'm understanding?
I credit that a lot with my journey with my back, being able to still be able to walk, still be able to really be able to work through things because it was harder for me to do a lot more physical activity, where jiu-jitsu I was able to not necessarily run every day and still be very active.
Yeah.
But also realize that I have a long journey with my back and back spasms and everything else, and not having to take ibuprofen every day and learning that, embrace the pain.
Yeah.
Get
around it.
They just want to. The VA just wants to give you a pill and be like, cool, you're good.
Carry on.
Well,
carry on.
That's where I kind of balance it, because when I started my journey back in 2015, 2016, when I got out, did a lot of things in a lot of my chapters with military, I had the opportunity to go to the VA and they declined me on everything. And yeah, I was really mad at the world and like everyone was, screw the VA.
Wow.
But I tell everyone it's the best decision that ever happened because I found how to do everything holistically.
Yeah.
I had to eat better, I had to sleep better, I had to live better, I had to do my vitamins better, everything holistically because they didn't give me anything. And if I would have taken those medications, if I would have gotten that surgery, been in a wheelchair, if I'd have done all that stuff, I would have been here in a wheelchair, possibly like, hey guys, can you help me lift me up? I need crutches or something like that.
Can you talk a little bit about your back injury?
Yeah, so it was I served Texas National Guard. I was there 6 years. Went to, I had so much stress and everything else that my body was extremely fatigued and dehydrated and just malnourished. Went to Texas border, served there for 6 to 8 months, and we were up 16-hour days, traveling around the border, walking back and forth, 80 pounds on our backs, doing all kinds of searches, seizures, clearing buildings, whole 9 yards. And after I don't know, the last 6 to 8 months, I just couldn't. My back was hurting. It was just spasming. I couldn't stop anything happening. When I was going back and forth on the fuel points going across the border when I had my Humvee, we had 2 50-gallon drums of fuel, and they were leaking everywhere, which was causing my migraines. Yeah. So not only on top of bad habits, stress, everything else, not eating right, you have all these injuries. You're not taking care of your body. You're going through 3 or 4 energy drinks a day, so dehydrated severely. Wow. And with all that, you get back home and you're just like, my body feels a lot different. Yeah. And from there, you start going through all the programs. You're like, hey, my testosterone's off. I'm not able to lose weight. I'm extremely fatigued. I can't sit still. All this stuff's happening, and your back is trying to protect itself, so everything else is getting bigger and stronger,
tightening up.
Correct.
Right? Yeah.
So that's why I was able to hey, I appreciate the big stocky body, but I realized my arms are trying to compensate for my back. Yeah, that's what jiu-jitsu taught me. It's like, hey, you're overcompensating here because of your back. Yeah. So being able to look through those things, those MRIs, and one doctor was like, hey, if you just quit being a fat body and you actually get your life together, all that stuff you're looking for, it'll come to come true, and just start the journey holistically, breaking down everything that you need to do.
Very open doctor.
He didn't say in those words, but basically he was saying that hey, if you just watch your weight and do this, okay, so basically, okay, got it. And just learning everything over again and teaching your body, intermittent fasting, resetting your body and saying, you know what, this is who I am. I'm not going to be lived by my habits, and redoing that part. And have emotional intelligence to say, you know what, I can follow that plan. And through programs I've been through the past few years, following those journeys and say, you know what, I might have been wrong in my last marriage about some things, but I was right in this. And I'm glad I chose my life versus my marriage. And I'm here now, and I'm able to give back to my community. And I've always done that. So in that instance, I was right about that. And I've always apologized for some of the things, but I never went past a certain limit. But I was always, be able to be resilient.
It's another thing we talked about where you can control your life or life can control you.
Correct. And so with Heroes Night Out, different organizations, I'm not trying to say that, any journey is harder, but I'm saying there's every opportunity. Yeah. So if you want to compare who has had the worst dirt in their mouth, we can go all day and all night. But if you want to say who's doing better, it's like, hey, when's the last time you had a migraine? Last night? Okay, so that's something that you need to work on. Well, it's not that easy. It never is. But do you want to be 20 years to your migraine, or you want to do, 20 years to living free without medications?
Oh, yeah.
Run into your medication jar because I have a migraine. What do you want to do? Well, it's not. It's like, do what you want.
Yeah.
Man,
interesting, man. That's
thank
crazy.
you so much for sharing all this. I mean, this is, God, this is, for me, it'd be very difficult. And I can appreciate you opening up like that.
Yeah. One more thing. Yes. So when I was actually 4 years old, I was actually sexually assaulted by a female cousin. And then when I was 10 years old, I was assaulted by a male cousin. And so growing up through life, I was always losing people to suicide, to alcohol, to different drugs. That's why I never started drinking, because I knew that it would tear me apart.
Yeah.
And so I had the emotional ability to understand that. But I was always outcasted because hey, why are you acting like that? Well, there was that part, but I didn't want to give that part to my parents. And so growing up, I was always hit with different things. So when I went to military, is because I needed a new foundation. Yeah. I was wrecking and blaming everybody else for my problems, and everyone else was validating what I was going through because of those problems. And it was like, listen, if y'all keep validating it, I'm not going anywhere, because I'm going to fall in this little foxhole of just problems. And everyone's like, hey, here's medication. It's okay. You deserve it. It's okay. It's okay. It's like, I want to do more with my life. So I joined the military, and they said, nope, it's your fault. you need to get off your butt. You need to start doing this. And that's when I started my journey, beating anxiety, beating depression, beating this. And so through those things, even though I see service members that may have had some of those traumas happen to them that happened to me, I try not to steer towards that because mine was more of a coerced rather than a force. But it's like, hey, like I'm not, like I said to you guys, I'm not trying to compare who had the worst life, but I'm definitely living a lot better for it and became a better dad for it for sure.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm sort of speechless right now because Jaime, thank you for sharing this. And again, I'm a little emotional.
And I'm glad that
always-
I had my back issues because it made me learn how to be a better speaker, and because I can save more lives speaking than I can serving. I can do more instead of me talking to 20, 30 people than clearing a building and saving 3 or 4. It's like, you know what, I'm better at this part, and this is why I'm here.
Yeah, and then you're just affecting people on levels that you might not even know, but you're not thinking about the numbers. You're just like you took it upon yourself to make yourself like a project. I'm a project. Sounds like I'm gonna make myself better,
Correct.
so that I'm better for other people. And
That's the
like,
hard part. Once you know, and
Yeah.
like, hey, I can keep doing better. And you have to make sure every day you go to bed and say, you know what, did I do everything today that I could? And learn to say, you know what, I'm good for today. I'm done.
Yeah, and people have different stories, and these guys here kind of know my story, but it's your night. But then it's just when you're younger and things happen, things have happened with me. It's just, and you have all those things growing up. How do you, I guess, flip it almost a little bit? How do you overcome that? We don't choose some of the things that happen, but then we choose how we respond to it. And it's hard.
Yeah.
And
like turning that corner, right?
Yeah.
Like, making the decision to kind of self-reflect and realize, now is the moment to turn that corner. That's always like really interesting to me, when every person has their own individual crisis, whatever it is, where they realize, okay, now I need to turn that corner and do something different, right? Something drastic.
So was it within you, or was it a person? Like because and thank you for sharing that story, but for some people, they will not approach it the way you have. Was it something inside of you? Like, where was the moment, like Johnny was saying, where it's just, there's something that
I guess that
happen.
aha moment.
Yeah.
What was that aha moment?
We're just like
Okay,
military.
I'm not going into that same like crap.
It's a cycle.
Yeah, because it is a cycle. So now I'm gonna make a conscious decision to go into the military and reset.
I
What
guess the common
led you to
theme
that?
is just I knew that if I didn't change my ways, I wouldn't be here anymore. And I knew that I couldn't do that to my mom, to my parents, to people around me. I knew that somewhere along the way I had I knew somewhere along the way that I had more to offer. And if I can just do something differently and carry some of the good stuff, I can do way more effectiveness and be a better person and still carry that.
Yeah.
So from being assaulted to losing my friends, I mean, I've been to more funerals than I've been to weddings. Being through all those iterations of anxiety, depression, all the stuff that I've had with my, my marriage, the military, just everything made me that much better of a person. And when I have that, I became a 10 times better dad because I can talk to my kids and be like, listen, I'm not going to be that guy and say, hey, I've been here, done that. But I want you guys to have fun and understand that I'm doing this because I've been through certain journeys. And that's the hard part with kids. You want to give them the character, but you don't want to give them the adversity. Yeah. And you're like, dang, I want to give them that little bit of something, but you got to live with it on your own.
Yeah. That's rough.
Yeah,
that is rough.
And for boys, you're just like, hey, you got to be a monster because the world's not gonna be easy to you. And for girls, you say, hey, I want you to be, I want you to have everything you have. But then again, I want you to be appreciative of everything we do as a father too, and as a guy, because I want you to look at your next partner and say, you know what, I thank you for that because my dad did that.
Ooh. One of my biggest challenges is making sure that I don't mess up my kids too much, because seriously, like we're doing our best.
Yeah.
And again, it goes back to trying to discipline them, trying to teach them those core values, those basics. Like, hey, this is what needs to happen. This is how you need to be strong, to be resilient. But then, where's the line? How do you overdo it? Like, what if you overdo it? then they're going to be in counseling for, years to come. So,
And that's the hard part with
constant.
a lot of things that I feel or I see with people in different things, because my kids are a product of me. And so I've been through so much trauma in my life. When some parents might struggle because they never dealt with it, and they have their kids are going through that, they're like, I don't even know how to relate. And it's like, listen, it's one thing, you just have to read about it. You have to understand. It's hard to understand it because unless you've been through that trauma, unless you've been through military, you can't really understand. So
No.
all you can do is be a good listener
Yes,
Mm.
and just be there as a good supporter.
exactly.
But you can't fix everything.
Yeah.
You have to let them fail.
Well, and on another side too, right, is how, like you're saying, right, how much do you want to try to fix, right, and how much do you want to try to be there and insulate people from problems, right?
Yeah.
And I think kind of what you're saying is we're all kind of a product of our cumulative experiences throughout our life, right? And it's for better or worse, right, that's kind of made you the person that you are today.
Yes.
Yeah. And honestly, the way you treat your partner, your friends, is the way your kids will be.
Yeah.
How your ecosystem is how they will be, how they end up.
I believe
So
it,
if
man.
you believe that you are doing the best you can with your partner, with your life, and moving forward with your friends, your kids will hear that 100%, and they will live that mantra. But if you are saying one thing and doing differently, they will end up just like that.
Yeah.
So as long as you carry that with you, you should be in a good spot. But again, it's one of those that you might have that 10% or 20% where that child has a little straight hair, and you're like, you can't just pat it down. You just gotta let it grow.
Mhm.
Hey,
It's a very
so
mild way to paint that picture. I think.
so that do as I say, not as I do,
Also, yeah,
doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work.
No, it doesn't.
It's also
you,
on the
you got
reverse
to right.
Yeah.
kids ones too, and me working with young kids, they know, and even though they're little, like they know if do you talk the talk or do you do you walk the walk, and so the irony is when you're trying to impart something on younger people to help them in their journey, a lot of it is modeling with the behavior. They know they're savvy. They know if you actually are who you say you are.
Yeah.
Right.
And then what are you trying to do to help them? And then I imagine, Jaime, even though you've had this journey that you've been going through and continue on, at least for me, it just shapes who we are in terms of how I perceive the world, how I value things because of the things. And I'm not trying to compare stories. It's like the thing, it's just where it gives me appreciation. And so that I want to have things for my kids that unfortunately I didn't have.
Of course, 1,000%.
And experiences and be able to love on people. But my brothers and I, we talked about our history, and they asked me just like a couple of weeks ago, like, would you change the way it was? And I'm like, no. And I said, it makes me who I am.
Wouldn't be who you are.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the things in the military really helped me out with that, because with my son, I always tell him, go through the door first. I'm trying to teach him how to be a good leader and how to step up and talk first, even when he does things, because I don't want him to always be behind me. I want him to start leading. And he's 9 out of 10. And it's like having him open the door for me and say, no, I go first.
Yeah.
Or no, sister goes first, then me, because you always make sure she's taken care of first.
Yeah.
I want you to carry that with your life. Military, if you're the leader, the subject matter expert, whatever, you go through that door first every time. And if your guys aren't ready for it, it's okay. I will take that responsibility. So being able to have them walk and say, you know what, I'll take that first. Still have fun with them, still spoil them, take care of them, let them know how life's going to be, but you go through that door first. I want you to be the man that I'm looking at. I want, whenever I take my next step, I want my daughter to be like, you know what, that's my brother, and he's a representative of my dad.
I would have loved to have a dad like you.
That's cool. Yeah,
That's
really
awesome.
cool.
Like,
For your-
hold doors, talk to people. Even when he's ordering food, I need you to talk, speak up.
Oh yeah.
I need you to learn how to talk to people in their eyes, because I need you to have emotional intelligence, because everything me as a dad,
Yes.
the more emotional intelligence you have, it's my reflection of me as a dad.
Yeah.
I just went over that the other day. It's just because I teach kids, but I have certain people that like to substitute my class. And one of the subs was like, I love subbing your class. I said, that's a great compliment, because my students are a reflection of the culture of what I teach them. And And I believe our kids, even though some kids are knuckleheads, they're a reflection of what we've done with them
Mhm.
too. So I could imagine your kids, even though their kids are on their way, if they aren't already, of being great young members of society. And it's interesting that in today's world, how some kids receive that and some don't. And it's again like what you were kind of saying with the Heroes Night Out. It's there has to be layers of support.
Yeah.
We're not perfect beings. We don't have to be perfect. It's about whatever's dealt to you, trying to be better, trying to learn with it, and then trying to make your imprint on something bigger than you, whether it's your kids, whether it's vets, whether it's students, whether it's family members, whether it's your
That service,
teammates.
right? Whatever that
It's
service
the
is.
service again
Well,
comes
Tony
up so many
Robbins talks about
times.
that. Like if like people can be millionaires, and if they're not leading one of those facets, if they're not doing one thing towards the future, taking that one step, that lack of that community will
Yeah.
always eat them alive because they're not still prospering and moving forward. They're just living essentially.
Well, in a way, it's not selfless, it's selfish too, because I believe that everyone can leave some type of impact on people.
Yeah, and the hardest part is those outside factors. So my ex-wife, respect to her and her new partner, but he really, gives her the floor and gives her everything. And when my son sees that, it's different personalities for sure. So when I hear him at school, I'm like, that's not my son.
Hmm.
And I tell the teacher, listen, we'll work on it. And I tell her, like, hey, you got to let him be a man and step up, because I'm seeing more of your partner in him right now, those tendencies, and that's
Yeah.
not who I am.
Yeah.
But when he stays with me for a few days, that first day is a little
Yep.
rough, but the next few days, he's like, you know what? I got it.
They get
Like,
back in the rhythm,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a rhythm.
Yeah. Like, this is the way we move, this is the way we talk, this is the way we set. If I look at you a certain way, you already know.
Yeah.
But I know never raise my hand, but you have a respect with me. We all have a good opportunity.
Yeah.
But honestly, with Heroes Night Out, I love the coffee and donuts, because you have guys that double, triple your age, and all they talk about is the things they
There's
wish they
no
could have
one-
done.
I'm sorry, because I know he's going to say something based on my age is no one double or triple my age. So I'm going to give myself a tally on that. But go ahead.
I'm a little bit younger, just by
Yes.
Are we at Coffee and Donut? I feel like we're there at Coffee and Donuts.
But you see those guys, they talk about how much they would have took a step back from their career and
Yeah.
spent more time with the kids.
Yeah.
How much they would have done this or done that. And then I see them when they talk about their kids, their grandkids, that little bit of sharpness in their eyes. And I'm like, you know what? I want that, but I don't want that regret.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, it's like I say, if you are lucky enough to reflect upon your life before you move on to whatever happens after this, what do you reflect upon?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Are you ready to reflect on, maybe some things that you didn't want, or some things that
Those
you
are some
regret,
hard
right?
conversations
Yeah.
that you have by
Yeah.
yourself. When
Yeah.
you're sitting there by yourself,
Yeah.
are you really ready to actually look at your face and look at yourself and say, you know what? I'm ready for change. Can I do more today?
Yeah.
And,
Yep.
and those conversations, if you're not ready for it, it will bring you back down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow, this has been a very emotional. This is an amazing
Hashtag deep.
Yeah,
You
this
brought
is
the
a
hashtag deep
deep-
vibes.
Hashtag
to-
deep.
This is the deepest molecule I ever
Oh,
come
yeah.
across.
Compound,
Because of
dude.
We're
molecule,
compounds.
but
Quantum level.
Yeah.
We're coming up on our 1 hour.
Okay.
So I want to present this quote, and during our conversation today, it came up. Like, I thought of this. So I want to say, I am not a victim of my circumstances. I am a creator of my experience.
Mm.
do you
Okay.
have who said
I
that
do
quote?
not.
Okay.
I
I'll
do
look that
not.
up.
But
Google it.
Comment section.
you are not the victim of your circumstances. You're the creator of your experience. So it's whatever you create is who you are. That's what you need to look at.
And I would say on top of that, part of that creation, because we have stories here, is also looking for other layers of support, friends, family, organizations like Heroes Night Out to help you
Mhm.
take those situations and create a new you bit by bit, just like we have an example here.
Right. So yeah, that's such a good point, because sometimes I guess raising awareness is so important, because once you know about the issue, then you can seek the help.
Yeah,
But
for
if
sure.
you and then this plays like, okay, I'm the creator of my experience. But if you don't know what's wrong, you go into that dark hole and then it gets ugly. It
Well,
gets really
if I have the
ugly.
sniffles, I see a doctor. If I break a toe, I see a doctor.
But
But if I have a rash, but if I have this in here
yeah,
and then this in here, there's that stigma, and it's awareness where reach out and there's people that can support you and work with you so that you can go through this healing and having more joy and having more purpose.
And to bring it full circle,
That's right.
they say physical exercise is 1.5 times or 2 times more effective than medications and therapy.
Wow.
yeah.
So
For
believe
jujitsu,
it.
back to that, I
Back to
literally
that,
tell the guys I call it mat therapy.
mat therapy.
Yeah.
Hey, fitness is the gateway drug to success and becoming a millionaire.
I'm gonna snort that tonight.
Plus looking good in a Speedo.
A red one?
Ooh.
How'd you know it's red?
Is
I
it
would be
really
red.
red?
Now
Has to be red.
It would be red
Now
or
with these
pink.
now with these furry monsters, it blends right in.
So you, man, I'm your Aladdin.
Oh.
Gonna rub that lamp,
Whole new worlds.
rub that lamp, and you're gonna give me my 3 wishes.
Ooh.
Damn. Oh, here we
Genie,
go.
Abu, and
Rub my
Aladdin.
lamp.
There should be a song. Oh,
Whole
there
new
you go.
worlds.
That's gonna
There
be
you
my
go.
next song.
Yeah. So let's go. Yeah,
Hey,
Johnny here is creative.
hey, let's check out one of Johnny's latest, and then we'll
One
wrap it up.
just to
We'll
take us out?
we'll end it.
Yes.
Yeah,
We'll
can
roll
end it
into
on
it.
that. That's
We'll end on that,
one.
because so Johnny has some Johnny
Be good.
beats.
Yeah.
Johnny be good.
And as you do that, you want me to do a recap?
Yeah, let's do it. While he's loading that
I
up
mean,
here.
thank you so much. It was a more emotional
Thank you, man.
episode.
Appreciate it.
I mean, God, you're a great guy, and I'm just saying that. You brought up the molecule. While molecules just floating around in this universe, but what can we do to affect the other molecules? I love that. We did talk a little bit about jujitsu and getting sweat in each other's mouths.
Mm,
I'm looking forward to rolling with you
like
one
that.
day, Jaime.
Yeah, love the peach
Do
level.
you roll it at Soul Fighters, or do you roll
We're
somewhere?
working on that right
Yeah,
now.
we're
Oh,
working on it.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Bringing me over
Cool,
there.
cool. Exciting.
I love tickle fights, so bring
There
it
you
on.
go. Yeah.
Kama Sutra. You heard about that, right? The Kama Sutra?
Yes.
Okay. They know about the Kama Sutra?
No,
Not only do I
if you're
know
not-
about it,
Right.
I
If
believe
you're
it.
actually rolling without submitting, it's just Kama Sutra.
This is Kama Sutra.
God, I can't wait to roll with you, and I'm not submitting anything with you.
Hey, so
Already
I feel like that's a rip on wrestling a little bit.
Rip
What's
on
going on with that?
hey, Bruno said
Really
everybody's now
good.
training. They're going 100% or 1,000 or what, however he says it.
Yeah.
So now it's on, baby. Now it's
Yeah.
about submission because that was slow.
40%.
That was slow rolling.
Yeah.
Now I'm
yeah.
gonna-
Now it's on.
I'm gonna go 80.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the notice. Notice to everybody. Where's the camera?
I get.
Yeah, notice.
You
No,
brought up
you're on notice.
All right.
Boba again, goat poop for all the people that now understand why we brought it up.
Oh,
Holy
yeah.
crap.
We talked
We've
about
ruined some lives.
Love
how our
Thanks for the
history
Forever scarred.
experiences
Yep. Yep.
Get that media
make who
taco.
we are.
Oh,
And then the one thing you always go to is just like, what's your purpose? How are you serving others? What is your
Yeah.
why? That seems to be a theme we're getting in all the episodes, whether
Yeah.
it's, Jaime or Chris
Or
or
Coffee
Alex or
Crew or
Johnny,
whatever it is,
anything.
yeah.
It's just
serving. Yeah.
Serving.
How do you serve others?
how do you serve others, which is a big why purpose. Despite what we're dealing with in our past, despite what we're dealing with presently, how can we be better and how can we make other
Mhm.
people better?
Yeah.
And you make people better with this podcast.
And you cannot make everyone happy.
We make this.
You're just here for the beer.
Oh, get out.
Okay.
Get out.
You want to hit us up, Johnny?
You want to hit it? You want to listen to it?
Jaime,
Oh,
get
let's-
ready. Now, if you want
let's
to take
hear
off
it.
your shirt and start
Well-
dancing on the table, I got some ones in my pocket.
Well, Jaime, we're gonna let me
Furry
see. Hold
chest
on.
isn't really me.
All right, it's ready. It's queued up. It's queued up. So on that note, Jaime, thank you so
you
much
for
for
having
me. Awesome.
joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
that,
me
that
too.
was a
Yeah.
big
Okay.
deal.
I feel like I
Hands
said
for the
it.
waist. Hands for the waist.
You got me.
Jonas and Soul Fighters.
You got me a
Yeah.
little tight.
Roll on.
Can't wait to tickle fight with you, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, sandbag me.
I can't wait.
Just
I can't
sandbag
wait
me.
to not submit you.
Just sitting there.
Johnny. Let's see. Let's do it. Hit it.
Let's
Hit it.
Throw some
Let's hit
boba
it.
out there.
I like this one.
Is it
Okay,
going?
let's see. Let's get it on. Let's get it on right there. No.
Do we need to turn it up?
Some technical
Misfire.
difficulties here.
Misfire.
Right there.
All
Misfire.
right.
Try that.
Too.
Oh, I hear it.
I hear
Here,
something.
that's
Someone's
I
got
forgot.
stage fright.
There we go.
Oh, there we go.
About to find out. Let's go.
Every time I see you in my neighborhood, I get a feeling that I can't explain. No, I know that this gonna lead to something good when I see you driving down my lane. Whoa, first you pull up slowly into my driveway. My eyes light up. The minute that I see your face, we know what's up. The moment that
Song's about
will it be enough?
delivery.
Just getting a lot of California vibes on this one.
Delivery time. You brought my package.
Yeah, audio.
Delivery time. How did I manage on delivery?
Actually, delivery driver shows up.
Delivery time.
When delivering.
You know I got it.
That's it. You do.
Got a package for you.
You brought my package.
Hey, Luis, in high school, my nickname was Delivery Man.
How did I manage without delivery?
A UPS back or
My-
you want to
Joseph.
Yes, what rounder for you.
Hey, so John creates.
What are you ordering?
This machine.
Everything.
It's pretty cool. I was talking.
Like what specifically?
That's good.
Dude.
No, I can turn it down right. You can turn it
All
down.
good.
It's all good. Cool. Well, on that note, that's right. Are we ready? We're ready. We're gonna do
do it.
El Pinche Podcast.
You gotta
Okay.
flex.
On
You gotta get
three.
your
Ready?
flex.
1, 2, 3. El Pinche Podcast.